folks to work with. I'm sure that you've had a lot of discussion, or probably more than I have with them, but Paul seems pretty.
We had a very good meeting with him. I'm not sure what he's wanting to spread down to his people yet, but we'll keep working on it.
We're working on it, Tim.
I understand. I'm just happened to be picking up a pizza and he was there.
Dave was at our advisory meeting the other night for critical environment tech, and that was a real good meeting, I thought. Yeah. Thanks for being there.
Okay, anything else? All right, we'll move on to Neil, Student Services CTE Signing Day. Neil?
I'm doing that.
Okay, sign.
It's okay. Wherever you see Neil is going to be Sarah.
It'll be
Okay.
me, unfortunately. Sorry, guys. Neil has to take care of kiddo. So CT signing day, we partner with NC3. This was something that started with Washburn Tech and is now a national event. And so it is on April 15th. I think everybody's getting the flyer. Yay, good. On April 15th, really what Neil was wanting me to highlight is that due to social distancing, we are splitting into 3 sections. The students that are coming, we have about 50 participants. We're estimating this will be a live stream plus on our YouTube channel. This is all the other schools will be live streaming as well. So if you guys want to come, fantastic. Go ahead and sign up so we can kind of keep track of who's coming and everything. And that's kind of the deal. We're participating.
You know, like for athletics, they have signing day. This is the version for tech programs around the country with colleges.
Sure.
So very cool and exciting.
Has this been like passed out to high schools and stuff like that, or?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the ones that have already applied and committed to coming, they have been invited, and we've gotten some commitments already that they're going to come in and sign. So all the programs you see have students that are coming to sign their intent to come to MATC.
Great.
Where will this be held? In the main lobby area?
Auto collision.
Okay.
Well, EPD. That space, Dave, that we don't know what we're doing yet.
Secret space.
It's recording, damn it. Justin's gonna hold it against me. You said it. Yeah, it's all here, so. If you can come, fantastic. If you can come for one session, great. They're all gonna kind of be the same, but Neil wanted to make sure the invite was put out there for you.
Or even if you can catch the live stream, right?
Yep, catch live stream.
Okay, any other questions on that?
None for me.
Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. Is there any additions that we need to make to this?
No.
You can take a moment to review the attachments.
Can you tell me again what the Wamego lease payment is?
Yes, that's the lease on our Wamego property that we purchased.
Okay, I was
So that's,
thinking that was with a different institution. I see it's Central Bank, but I thought that there was a.
it's government capital, but they're the middlemen. So government capital is the one that is the person that connected us with Central Bank to give us the best interest rate, things of that nature. So, but it goes to Central Bank.
That was my confusion, because I knew that it was with a different institution when I saw the name previously, but then when I saw this bank, I didn't know if it was something new or what, but it sounds like it's the same thing.
It is.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
it is.
Any questions or comments?
I move to accept the consent, the agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Hearing none, we'll move on. And we're going into executive session one more time.
Yes.
Madam Chair, I move that we go into executive session.
Try to set a rate that benefits all of those factors. This current year, we are proposing a 2%. It's an average of a 2% because if you take a look at this chart at the bottom of the page, for many of those items, it's about a 2.2%, $4, maybe a 2.4, but it's based upon program. So it's not across the board. One of the things we wanted to keep in mind is that our general education tuition, we wanted that to remain flat so we could continue to be competitive, especially in our Wamego location. So as you can see, there's a 0 there, but the other areas, we are requesting to increase that tuition by those average percents, and then leave the credit hour fees flat. And so the credit hour fees go towards different institutional costs, and those are listed on the recommendation as well, from technology, student assessment, graduation, and the list goes on. But we're keeping those credit hour fees flat. If you recall last year, I believe we increased them by about 33%. So this year we wanted to kind of, make it flat so that, we're not having a high increase. But this is in front of you is just a proposal to increase an average of 2% for the 2021-2022 academic year. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to.
How does this compare with any of our competition?
Actually, we are the 3rd lowest tuition in the state, as according to the KBOR tuition statistics. So we're good amongst technical colleges. And some of the things that, when you look at that data, some of it can be skewed because they're like us. They have different tiers for different programs. And so depending on if it's an apples to apples comparison, we're pretty good with the other institutions.
In tuition as well as fees?
Yes.
On the 11,000 credit hours, is that a doable number?
That's a very conservative
It's very
number.
Very conservative.
Yes.
That's based on this COVID year, not a normal year. So
Right.
again,
Okay.
applications are running good right now, very strong interest with the secondary schools. So we're cautiously optimistic that we're going to pass that credit hour mark easily. But again, we're going to base it off what's currently real.
Okay.
And we do that so that, and anyone who runs a budget or any finance managers, we do that so that if and when it increases, then there's a surplus and it helps the institution. So we're definitely conservative because our average credit hours is about 13,000.
Okay.
So.
We're praying COVID's over, but we're not going to bet the barn on it yet.
Since they're talking about wave 4 now.
I move to approve the proposed new tuition fee rates.
I'll second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose?
Thank you.
Thank you.
The financial monitoring report. You're up again.
You're going to hear me all night. My apologies. So part of the monitoring reports that comes from the president's office with the help of the accounting office is the financial condition report. And what that policy is that, one, we will stay within our budget that was approved by you all. And so if you look at your attachments, 6B and 6C, you can see on the change in net position on 6B that we are in a surplus. So that is great. We have not spent more than we have taken in. And then the second provision is that we maintain a reserve that's adequate. And we have about $875,000 in our reserve right now. And so while that is not sufficient, and we know this, we are working to increase that each year. But the financials that you have in front of you are from July 1 of 20 to December 31 of 2020. And so that gives you a 6-month snapshot of what we've received, what we're spending, and then, of course, all of our assets and liabilities. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer those for you. And I guess one thing to note on the attachment B is that typically when you see a 6-month snapshot, you typically see about 50% of us spending. That's halfway through the year, so we should be about 50%. Most everything is, you'll see a few outliers, the federal grants, well, we know those are from the stimulus fund, so we did get a lot more than what we would have budgeted for at least half year, but everything else is pretty much in line with this time of year.
Any additional questions?
Need to approve it, please.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the financial monitoring report, please?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Okay, moving on to the Xerox proposal recommendation.
And this is where you have a handout that Mary gave you. This is to replace the one in the packet.
Yes, please replace the one in the packet. I attached the first proposal they sent us in the packet, and that was the incorrect one. Thankfully, Andrew let me know that today. So,
And Mary will put the correct one in the board packet that she posts online. So for anybody watching, you can get the corrected package, in the next day or two.
yes. So this is going to be a collaborative effort between myself and Andrew and maybe even Josh, but just to kind of give you a little bit of background, we entered into a contract with Xerox about 5 years ago. So it was a 5-year lease. It ends at the end of this year. Just some of the things that we've had to endure over those 5 years. When we first entered into the contract, we had a number of, I think it was 7 copiers. And then as we added additional copiers, what we started to find is we would have a new lease, a new lease, a new lease. So then we ended up with 4 or 5 bills. And then we ended up with this. And it just started to snowball to where we were paying so many different bills a month. All of them had different rates on them. And so Andrew's going to talk about this proposal that Xerox and he kind of went over and worked out. So Andrew, I will turn it over to you.
Wonderful. Good evening. I'm Andrew.
Nice background.
Thanks. It's my office.
Really? That is all?
I store a lot of things. So as Carmela said, as we added a lot of Xeroxes, the bills kept going. So as you can see in the packet that was handed to you, in the lease agreement for the current proposal, those are all the bills that we get. So we end up with 5 bills from them. So consolidating the bills down, will make it easier for the accounting and everything with them and paying that. The other thing that goes is that they approached me with the proposal because they actually just recently got educational pricing, which they did not have before. So that allows us to get a better rate for the for all of the copiers that we get now. So we will be able to add a solution that we've been looking at for a while called Paper Cut, which is an auditing and just an overall solution for printing in general. So it takes care of all of our back end with the printing, which will make it easier and more secure for our students and our staff and faculty to print. It saves money and gives us better information to move forward with either finding out if we need to add more copiers or if we can take some of the printers away that we have, and just overall efficiency with that. There's a lot of things that this does for us, so I'll try and keep it short, but if there are any specific questions, feel free to ask them. The biggest thing from it is the auditing on that, and allows us to get information from our printing usage, where we print the most, how we print. It also lets us redirect printing, so if somebody wants to print a document in color, it'll ask them if you really want to print in color because that costs more. or do you need to print in color, things of that nature. So we can kind of direct things to help us save money in the long run too, and overall educate on printing and how to save money and maybe print less in general. So overall, we get to reduce our total payment per month by about $120 or so, and get to add all of the solutions that we've been looking for and upgrade our printers that are becoming coming to the end of their lease term. If we ultimately, we can decide to either buy the printers outright and continue having them support them, or we can renew a lease with them. If we buy the printers outright, at the end of the 5-year term, we have to pay market value for those, whatever it is at that point in time, and then pay a support fee for them to continue supporting us as they do now. At some point, they turn into a legacy printer, and that'll tack on another $30 per printer for the support fee. So we get to renew our printers, get newer technology, and avoid those additional fees by renewing our contract. The one other big thing too is that these terms are locked for the 5-year period. Before, actually, in this last 5-year period, our printing price per print had gone up. It's gone up actually 3 times over the course of since I've been here with that. So that won't happen with this. Our terms are locked, so this will be the price for the next 5 years. Any questions or anything with that?
I didn't quite understand the paper cut solution. What is that?
So it's a software that we run, that we host, that goes on to all of the Xeroxes have an actual device on them, but it also supports all of our desktop printers as well. It allows us to connect to them and manage them remotely for things of for auditing purposes, to get information of who's printing on them, how much they print, what they print. We can actually pull up individual print jobs if something were to come up that we needed to see what this person actually printed, or if they needed to see what they actually printed or what got print. It gives us a way to do secure printing anywhere. So all of our Xeroxes will have will connect to a virtual print queue that everybody will print to. And then you'll go to any Xerox on campus or any Xerox that we have and be able to pull up your print job and print it from there. So it makes it easier to print. And it gives the business office the auditing capabilities to do proper chargebacks to our departments.
Thank you.
Does this apply to Wamego?
Yes, it does apply to Wamego. So we're adding a copier there as well. As Andrew mentioned, we're adding a couple of copiers. So our rate's going down because of the educational pricing, but we're adding additional copiers to take care of Wamego and some of the other places here on campus.
And the only thing I would add is when you're talking about the paper cut, one of the cool features I like, because most people using the printers just don't realize how much it actually costs the institution to especially do the color print. So it even has some features to where, say I'm going to send a 100-page color print job to one of the Xeroxes, they'll actually pop up and say, this is going to cost MATC $180. Are you sure you need to print this? And it just continues to keep us kind of going green.
So that sends it to the Xerox. What about the standalone printers?
So part of Xerox is they do maintain our printers as well as support piece. So we have an inventory tag on each one of our printers, and they monitor the ink levels. When it gets lower, they send it. So that's part of a separate contract.
Just on the maintenance?
On the maintenance.
Okay. And all of these are multi-function devices?
Correct.
I did notice one thing, that it's the price of $16.93 plus tax.
No tax.
Okay.
They know this is just their proposal,
Okay.
but they have our sales tax, so no tax.
Okay. I'm seeing that. I'm going, hold it. Flag.
Good catch, Tim. No, you're tax exempt.
And people keep getting better at using shared printers.
Mhm.
And we've made huge strides in not printing as much.
Now for big jobs, we outsource it to a printing
No, this we
Facility.
can do in-house now. We have the capabilities of doing these in-house, and these come out of the marketing budget, so they're a
Okay.
different budget.
Okay, but do we have any big jobs that we do outsource
Once in a while.
once in a while?
Banners, things
Okay.
like that.
Transcript paper, all of those
Yeah.
types of things.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
But the more we can do in-house, we try to do because it is cheaper for us to do it in-house.
okay,
I will say that simply by having these tablets for you all for the board pack, that saves us on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
Canvas that we have now for students, that's saving us. So we've done a lot of things to save us. So I really think that, and we've talked about this, Andrew, Josh, and I, probably after this 5-year period with Xerox, we may not need as many anymore. We see us continuing to go green.
downsize.
We do have some print, the posters in the room you're in now, Andrew and Brian actually did in-house, so we can do some pretty decent quality stuff.
And a lot of times that stuff is bought by Perkins. Because if it's non-trad based, it's been approved through a grant.
You need action on this if you're so inclined.
I move that we accept this proposal for the Xerox system.
Seconded.
Okay. All in favor of the proposal, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes.
Thank you, Andrew. And Josh.
Sarah show.
For a minute. So I kept warning y'all that we're gonna have more policies coming because we're still getting geared up for HLC. So one of the new policies that I'm bringing to you is an institutional effectiveness policy. This is from our data team. It kind of lays out the purpose of our data team, which is a collection of individuals that meets on a monthly basis to look at different data information pieces that is then presented to senior administration when it comes to making decisions here at the institution. And so I need approval on this new policy. If there's questions. Made them all quiet.
And this is data just of the institution itself, not of the students, but of the institution itself.
This is all data concerning
All
the
data,
institution.
okay.
Yeah. So anything in regards to iPads, the stuff we submit to K-Board, stuff that comes out of HLC,
Okay.
grant information, retention information, program reviews, financials, anything in regards to helping us to run effectively and make decisions that are driven based on
But it
our mission.
doesn't drill down to the individual student.
No.
It's
no,
just
no,
a
no.
snapshot of the student population.
Yes.
Okay,
No, we don't have anything that drills down like that.
okay.
You know, HLC, K-Board, and iPads may all ask for this. It sounds like the same report, but they all have different twists on it every time. iPads is federal, HLC is accreditation, K-Board is state, but it's 3 different reports because of what each of them is trying to zero in on.
And they all have different definitions.
Yep.
So depending on, we have the same raw data across the board, but the reports will show different pictures of depending on what they're asking for.
Mhm.
So then this team gets together and analyzes that information to determine, relevancy based on wherever we're standing as an institution, like making the decision with Wamigo.
4 years ago, all this sat with one person at the college who took care of it all, did it all. Then we got the information.
Everything.
So the committee determines what the output is to whatever
It really is kind of,
requesting agency.
more of the agency determines what we need to report and
Right.
everything. And so then that's reported, but
Mhm.
requests can be made by the president to the data team about looking at specific situations.
Sure.
Or if he's wanting certain data to be presented to the board based on like the Career Academy concept, where is our partnership in regards with MHS in the region? Program-based things, when I bring those forward, looking at Department of Labor data, all that comes into play with this.
We also, as a data team, when we analyze the data, we ask ourselves, does this data make sense?
Mhm.
Do we need to do something differently? Is it effective? Is it efficient? Is it telling us what we need to know? And if not, how can we get that data? How, what do we need to do to go back to the board? So it's analyzing and then making sure that we're on point for the other agencies.
I move we approve the policy 9.1.6 institutional effectiveness.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Okay, Sarah again, because
Sarah
Neil's not
again.
here.
So verification of student identity, this is already a current policy. We updated it to get in compliance with federal regulations and HLC requirements. So I don't need any action on it. This is just an FYI item because we did make adjustments to it.
I thought I read somewhere in here that does require dual verification.
Mhm.
All right, any questions on them two items? All right,
Next is Nathan.
Nathan. Nathan up?
Evening, folks. So we're looking at policy 4.5.2, attachment 10. And this is also a revision of a policy from 2013. It was originally titled the PAC policy, so the Program Advisory Committee, and we revised it to include BUILT for Business and Industry Leadership Team. Most of the changes were adjusted titles, adjusted characteristics for slight differences between the PACs and the BUILTs, and changed information about surveying, communication, and documentation, that sort of thing. So, and this will be a good guideline policy for the programs that have PACs and how they will run and communicate about them.
Again, it's FYI.
This is FYI.
And if any of you ever want to attend one of these, to see what it's like, or you've got an interest in one of our programs, I know Brett, you've probably done with building trades, or you might be interested, just let Nathan know so we can get you tied to that. Like I said, David came the other night on critical environment tech. We'd welcome your participation in any of those groups.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks,
Any
Nathan.
questions? Any questions? Okay, moving on, discussion events.
Couple things for me real fast. So legislature, right now tax credit is in the tax committee. It has not come out. We'll see what happens. Our lobbyist, Steve Kearney, knows he can get it more than likely to at least the conference of the House and Senate. I'm not sure why. We're not sure why the Senate's not taking action on it in the committee. If you happen to know any member of the Senate Assessment and Tax Committee, you might give them a holler. What I will say, one of the positives after I testified last week for the proposal, Senator Molly Baumgartner from Johnson County, and she teaches at Johnson County Community College. She's chair of the Senate Education Committee where I usually testify. But she said to the tax committee, she goes, we've been talking about this for the last year, that higher ed funding in the state goes to the KBOR institutions and the community college, and then she goes, and the technical colleges get the crumbs, and we've got to change that. So bit by bit, we're changing a lot of their mindset, but we really could use that tax credit bill. The other thing I'll say related to KBOR, Blake Flanders, who was Dean of Instruction here years ago, and now he's the CEO over the regions. He's been under the gun a lot. The universities aren't necessarily happy with him because the university's under attack more by the legislature, having more funding cuts than we are. Blake's in one of those poor positions. He can't make anybody happy. But he's doing, with what he's got to work with, what are you going to do? Just something to keep your eyes and ears on. Other than that, it's been fairly quiet as far as Topeka. So we'll see what happens. Carmela, Sarah, and I are doing a Zoom session next Tuesday with the consultants for the City of Manhattan Strategic Plan. They reached out to get our input, so we're doing that. Harry and I are doing the chamber luncheon by virtual next Tuesday as well. Lieutenant Governor, Secretary of Commerce Tolan is doing that. So we'll be involved in that session as well. We'll get to that with my evaluation. It's okay. Thanks for reminding me. We'll do that in the diagram both then. Chris, Title III.
Good evening, everybody. Today I actually have things to report, so this is great. This will probably be the longest I talk for this year. We have submitted the annual performance review, and that's included in your board packet as attachment number 11. I would be more than happy to answer any questions after my report, or if you have questions for next time, or if you just want to shoot me an email, I'd be more than happy to answer those because it is kind of a lengthy report. I won't go through a lot of the narrative, so I'm going to start on just page number 9. This is highlighting our program objectives and the performance measures. Is the project actually doing what it said it was doing? In short, yes, absolutely. In fact, we're exceeding a lot of things. So with our first objective of the project, I'll back up. So project aims, two main components. First one is expanding access to certificate, degree, and transfer options. And then the second component is developing comprehensive, interactive, and accessible student services for both on-campus and online users. Of course, we are in the last year of the project, so we are wrapping up a lot of things, but this report is on year 4, and we did do a lot of good things in year 4. One of the objectives of last year were to increase enrollment in the online hybrid classes by 75 students, based on the fall 2014 online enrollment of 205. It's amazing. They looked into their crystal ball, and sure enough, we had 75 unique students. So we increased by 75 students to 280 students last year. The performance measures underneath that, just so how did we get to the objective? One of the performance is just that faculty will do training and will convert at least 6 courses. We converted 6 technical elective programs. And then the one that I find the most interesting is the performance is we were aiming for 85% of students enrolled in those online hybrid courses to report satisfaction or higher. This is with our eval kit that Kim sends out at the end of each semester. So 85% of the 205 from the 2014 would have been about 174, but we actually had 91% students that were satisfied or greater. So that's awesome. 221 students out of 244. Moving on to objective number 2. I'm now on page 10 of this 18-page report. Let's see. Sorry, I'm going to be doing a lot of reading. I just want to make sure I get all this through. For the next objective, this is one of the ones that I probably tell everyone about that ask. 75% of students in the online programs received a grade of C or better. We're absolutely ecstatic that 86.4 of students received a grade of C or better. So of the 280 that we reported, 242 received a C or better. Part of this is also with our student services. We piloted a new online degree audit system that our advisors use. Target goal was just 100 students. We were actually able to use it with 373, and we have made some changes, so we look forward to integrating that with every student that we have. And the last one for performance number 2 is the 85% of the students that are using the Teaching and Learning Center, which was constructed in year 1, rank it at a 4 or 5 on a Likert scale, and out of the 370 individuals that used the TLC or took the survey, 365 were at a 4 or higher, so that's 99%. And the last part of our year 4 is our endowment challenge. For year 4, the target endowment was $23,750. And through the Grow Green fundraising day and other donations, we reported at $29,224.42. So we were able to draw down matching grant funds to that amount, to the 23,750. I think that's the main points I wanted to hit on the report. Everything else was good. Budget, everything fell within line, and all funds were spent or currently encumbered for year 4. And Carmela has been a godsend, and we are finishing out year 5. And I mean, just great. I don't know what else to say, but ever since taking on, I've been ecstatic to learn more about how this project is integrated in the college. And our external evaluators have always said that it's amazing to see when they come onto campuses and they ask, what's the name of your Title III project? And the faculty and the staff don't really know. And that's because it's integrated so well into the project. It's not, well, we're integrating Starfish for Project AIMS. No, we're integrating Starfish into the college for student retention. Same with Canvas. I don't think anyone uses Canvas now and goes, oh, this is just part of Project AIMS. Like, no, this is part of MATC now. So, any questions?
I think a comment I'll make, I understand Chris was bored and he was reading the 2017 HLC stuff about us. If I got this right. And then you've read the current one.
Oh.
And 2017, when HLC was here, we were just getting Title III started. And the impact of Title III is apparent in how we're writing the stuff in HLC this time. It's a game changer.
Absolutely.
Again, how we handled the pandemic so easily was because of Title III. And I want to do a shout out to Chris, Andrew, and Josh on how they've combined with the stimulus funds, what we could do there, and what the stimulus funds couldn't use, what Title III could, to ramp up our technology. And it optimized the impact of all those funds. We've got state-of-the-art stuff everywhere. That's gonna, and the faculty have embraced it, staff have embraced it. It's crazy how much farther we are in a short time. So,
Strong work, Chris.
Thank you.
Dang, Andrew already jumped off. I'll have to tell him you said that tomorrow.
it's recorded. Tell him it's somewhere he can listen.
There we go.
Okay. Sarah, you're up next. HLC.
3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
So, fun fact, I don't have anything for you. So you guys are off the hook this time. I was sick last week and out, and so I am not completely prepared at this point to share updates. However, 3 and 4 is the meat of HLC and the institution itself in regards to accreditation, or in regards to academics and assessment and the big chunks of an institution, what makes us a higher education institution. And so we are working on actually a tip sheet for the whole college campus that we will be providing. Me, Kim, and Casey will be working on that. We'll be providing. And so when you have a conversation with the HLC team, each criterion will be kind of laid out with an explanation, and then what we've kind of covered in our assurance argument. So then that way you guys won't be going in blind. And so in the April meeting, I will have a lot more information to provide on 3 and 4. Our assurance argument closes on Monday. So we're in the process of trying to finish writing that. It's very well done. It's mostly there. Shout out to Kim and Casey for doing that, for me being out of commission last week, but we're putting the finishing touches on it, getting last bits of evidence, and we are completely on track. And it really is a completely 180 perspective of where we were with 2017 going into that visit and what we're going into for this year. I really can't tell you what will come out of it. Everything that we needed to address and look at, we are looking at. We're talking about what we're doing well, what we know where we have opportunities, and how we're going into the future. And so being that this is the second time I've done a full visit like this, third time, that's right, you left me for one. The third time I've done a full visit like this, I think we're sitting really good as an institution. I really, really, really do. So I'll have more information April meeting about 3 and 4, but I'll also have this tip sheet to give you guys before the visit on May 3rd.
What's made
So
this one, pardon me, what's made this one a little more difficult is the preponderance of evidence we have and trying to winnow it down to the best examples of evidence.
Yeah.
So they're physically going to be here then for the visit.
How that works is Jim and I met with the head of the review team, and they all but one member is coming, and he's an individual and president at a private institution over in Salina at a Christian college over there. He will be on site the day of the 3rd. Everybody else will be Zoom. And so they'll contact us here early April to put the agenda in place. What I understand, what will be expected from the board is they want you all individually on Zoom. So you'll each have they want to individually be able to see you and have that discussion with you. So we weren't sure whether they were going to want you to be on site, because a lot of times in the years past, we've done a supper or a breakfast with the review team. They're not going to do that. They want you individually at your own computer, wherever that may be, so that they can have that conversation with you as a group, so they can physically see you and hear you clearly and everything. But it will be with all 5 members of the review team. So once I know when that is, you guys will know about that.
The person coming to be here on campus the one day is the president of Central Christian McPherson.
Yeah, McPherson, that's right.
They're accredited by HLC. And because of the COVID restrictions HLC's had in place, the plan is for him to drive up that morning, be here most of the day, go back home in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else will be by Zoom. We got our student survey back, the results of that HLC mandates, good results there. But you'll be getting more information at the April meeting,
Yes.
as she mentioned. But I'm not losing sleep over this one. I did in 17, I'm not losing sleep on this one.
How many people are involved with the drafting of the,
Everybody.
Pretty much.
Everybody has been involved, the whole college community. Because what we did was, one, we have our steering committee that meets every other week. We have a separate HLC committee of me and my direct team that meets every week. And then we pulled everybody together during professional development time, split the whole college campus into different criterion, and they focused on it, and they did that twice, not just once, but twice. And so everybody has been involved in some way, shape, or form with writing this assurance argument, physically writing it, because we started out with a draft based on what we did in 2017. The steering committee cleaned it up based on where we are now. And then that's what we pulled up for faculty and staff. So faculty physically were sitting and writing and filling in blanks and going, this doesn't sound right, or this is what I think we need to cover. And so everybody, I don't want to hear one person say they weren't involved. Everybody was involved in writing this assurance argument, and they should all know that this is coming and what's being said.
it's a big difference than the 2017.
Yes.
That's good.
Huge difference. Yeah, because 17, it really was administration and one person and
Yeah.
us filling in blanks. No, literally, I am so proud to say everybody was involved, and they all had an interest. So we did the one session at PD, and those groups were coming back and going, we didn't get to finish our criterion. We want to see it again.
And the former president of Highland, Betty's last name,
Stevens?
Betty Stevens, who lives in Manhattan. She's been a peer reviewer, but she's helped us both with our assessment, one special visit a year or two ago. But she's also reviewed our stuff this time and given us feedback. And all of our faculty wanted that session with her, so she did a
Mock
session.
Great.
Yeah.
And she's great with it. So
That's good.
It's very faculty driven this time around, and they took ownership in it. It was amazing.
and it's, we've got a better strategic plan, the vision of what we're trying to do, and it's written toward that. We're doing these things, here's where we're heading.
I'll still say I don't miss that at all.
Yeah.
When is the actual session that we're in?
May 3rd. It'll be on May 3rd.
That's a Monday.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a Monday. It will be on May 3rd.
As soon as we know more, we'll let you know.
Yeah. Is there a time of day that works better for you guys? Like if you would want to do like a kind of a first thing in the morning type thing, or do something more in the evening or over lunch? Because I can work with the chair and try and figure that out. If there's kind of a consensus.
The only thing I have on that morning is a staff meeting until about 10 o'clock,
Starting at what time, Tim?
8:30.
Okay, well, Tim's not available at 8:30 then, till
Okay.
10 o'clock.
So, I mean, is it gonna take an hour, hour and a half? How
Probably
long?
about an hour.
So lunchtime?
Is lunchtime fine?
Mhm.
Okay. That's usually what it is. It usually goes around a meal. You have a meal with the review team, because that's usually when we can get everybody
None
together.
of,
But
none
I
of us
can,
will be in on that with you.
Right.
It's you guys.
you'll have
and
your
the
tip
team.
sheet, and Dave's been through it, so you're good.
I've been through it.
Okay.
It causes gray hair.
They can guide you, no. So that's why we'll have
And
two
and the
sheets
thing
in
is, if
place
they ask you
now.
something you don't know, say, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's very conversational. They want to.
They want to know that you understand your role
Mm-hmm.
and that we're giving you information about what's going on.
That tip sheet is, we had last time, was really, really.
Okay.
Valuable, very valuable.
No, you'll have it.
And they usually like to see, you know, where do you see the college at? 3, 5, 6, 6 years,
Where we are
Good
now.
things happen.
I say where we are now compared to 2017. Okay, moving on.
And that include, all that involvement was both campuses, staff from both this campus and the Wamego campus. And
Yes.
I just don't want them
Yes, Tim.
to pick somebody. No, I just don't want them to pick somebody that may have
Wamego,
this have much information versus somebody with this much.
the Wamego Center will have a separate visit whenever we get a full program going there.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it won't have it on its own.
Do not call it a campus.
Right.
Do not
Additional.
call it a camp, call it a center, an off-campus center.
Yes.
Do not call it a campus.
Yeah, no. We don't have any programs running there yet. We have classes.
You better put that on the tip sheet.
I will put that on the tip sheet. Tim, don't call it. It'll be on the tip sheet.
Thank
I
you.
promise. No, that's their,
Okay, tell them why we may need to have a special board meeting.
because I don't have my stuff together. I decided to be sick last week. No, actually, this isn't my fault at all. You guys may get a special email coming up in the next couple of weeks. Timelines kind of got jostled. So K-Board in their infinite wisdom and the universities decided that they were going to tell the rest of us little people what zip codes we could use, because they think that there should be certain programs that only universities can offer. Yes, David. And one of those is business. They think everybody who goes into business is going for an MBA. That there is no assistants, and there's no administrative clerks, and there are no, accountants, and there are no entry-level data people, which we all know is baloney. So anyway, we have to change our business curriculum is set up on our books, because we no longer can use the zip code that we've been using since the program started. So what I'm having to send is, we have 3 different tracks. We have an accounting track, an administrative assistant track, and we have a new management track. And right now we had certificates in each of those areas. But everybody who got an associate's of applied science degree got a business administration applied science degree. We can no longer do that. So now we have to create 3 separate programs, one for management, one for accounting, and one for administrative assistant. Administrative assistant falls in line with what we currently have on the books. So that one's taken care of. But I have to approve 2 new programs, which mean I need your guys' approval with that. But because of the way the information we got from K-Board, when my curriculum committee meeting is going to be, and when this meeting occurs, don't align up. So curriculum meeting meets next week. So after the curriculum committee meeting, because we have to go through internal governance first, after that meeting, then an email will come out to you guys with these 2 new programs that I need you to look at and tell me whether you're going to approve or not. And then I have to use that information, and I got to send all that up to K-Board to get approval from the state.
But we can do it by email, so you can
Yes.
submit your vote that way.
But this way I can at least explain to you guys what's going on, why we're having to do it. Thank you, universities. why we're having to do it and what's coming to you and why it's not at this board meeting, because I can't bring anything to you guys until it goes through internal governance. So it's going next week and then it will come to you guys, because to make it to the board agenda, their meeting is April 23rd. You guys don't meet till after that, and I need to them before that. So everything is messed up timeline-wise.
Does K-Board send that, what we'll come up with in programs? Does K-Board send that to the universities and say, does anyone have a problem with this?
Yeah, it comes out of, K-Board has a couple different committees that is specific in regards to curriculum. So what we got was a list of SIPCO saying we're no longer funding. And they're only gonna be funded at this level.
There will not be a comment period on this because it's revising an existing program.
Okay, good.
If it was a whole new program, then the comment period would come in place.
Well, no. These two are new comment periods.
You sure?
These two programs. That's why I gotta make the April 23rd date. Because it's brand new programs.
So
Is that what you were asking, or were you asking because of the changes in zip code?
No, I was asking about program reviews.
They have, the April 23rd is the 10-day comment period due date. That's what I'm trying to make. So
K-State submitted a request for a new program for an associate degree on their drone technology. They have a bachelor's degree in it. They submitted a request to offer an associate degree. The community colleges and the technical colleges raised hell because that's not what the region's policy is for the universities, and K-State withdrew their, it's going to get real competitive.
Yeah, it is.
yeah,
And is this anything that we have to have in preparation or prior to the HLC visit? Or doesn't have
Her
any?
timeline on this is more for K-Board.
Okay,
yeah. No,
okay.
this is all K-Board. Because we already have a business program in place, I don't have to do anything with HLC.
Okay,
It already falls into that privy.
okay,
So it's not like with critical environments, I had to send information to HLC because it was a brand new program pathway. And we got approved for that. Because we already have a business pathway, these two already fall under that.
okay.
So we're okay.
I don't really think we have any COVID updates, do we?
No, actually, the only COVID update I have was that we have no confirmed active cases right now.
Hallelujah. Okay.
All the staff get vaccinated?
Most of us have. Most of us are getting our second shot this week. Not everybody, but a lot of us.
Yeah, that was a great partnership with Riley County, working with them on that.
I'm getting mine Thursday. A bunch of us are tomorrow and Thursday are getting second shots. Brian, you still with us?
I'm still here.
All right, take it away.
Yep, I'm here at the Womago campus. So
Thanks, Brian. There'll be a little less in your paycheck.
you can't take much out of zero, right?
You're the math guy.
So thanks to Sarah saying I can go on to Bermuda May 2nd. I'm not too worried about HLC, but
What? I didn't approve that. Nathan, we have a talk.
Brian and I are going to check out the Bermuda campus now.
yeah, exactly.
What did I start?
Good job, Deb.
Now we're faculty is definitely getting ready. Probably this next month we're going to be doing a lot of stuff as far as getting ready for HLC. Otherwise, we're just kind of trying to gear up. Luckily, like Sarah said, COVID, I don't think I've had one case so far in my program that I know of in the math side. So luckily everything's been going good. Students have been good. We're getting more and more students on campus, which is nice. I know today was my busiest day actually in recitation, and I had 2 from the Adult Learning Center. I had 1 from the high school here in Womago at the recitation, so that's kind of nice to see. I did have a board member, school board member from Womago call me last night, and he was commenting on how his son liked coming to the campus and how it was so much different. And he felt like more of the seniors needed that because his son said it felt like it was more mature. He was more mature and he just liked getting out away from the campus. It actually felt like a college. So we had kind of a nice little talk saying it's kind of that nice transition going from high school to a smaller college, and then later on, if you need to a bigger college. And I think a lot of the board members are seeing that. And I think that's going to be pretty big coming in the fall. I see a lot of classes maybe starting to really take place, especially among the seniors. Technology wise, I know you guys were talking about that. And one of the things I don't remember if we brought it up or not, but I know Jeff has really commented to me on the auto tech side of it, how nice the Zoom cameras have been. He said he's got one in his shop, and rather than having everybody huddled around the motor, he can just basically view down on it and everybody can see it plain as day. You can see the threads on the bolts and everything else. And I was talking with Carmela and a couple other people about Wamego, and I think we're going to get more and more Zoom cameras here, because right now we just have the one other than the one in the meeting room. And that's, I think, going to be huge for us. I've been getting feedback from the counselor wanting to maybe use our building for certain events. So I think that technology is going to do nothing but strengthen our connection with the high school. So other than that, not a whole lot to say. Any questions from you guys?
Thank you, Brian. Thank you and Jeff and the faculty. Appreciate it.
I think he just locked in his plane tickets.
Better not have. Need the chair of faculty senate that day.
Okay, moving on, anything on the ownership linkage? Anything? Any updates?
Harry and I have been having a lot of meetings, sometimes with Sarah, other people. Harry's been doing some without me. Again, ramping up interest with Wamego, with the Career Academy. If you think of some people we need to meet with, please let me or Mary know, or Harry. But it's constant. You know, we're just telling them, here's what we're doing, here's what we're doing, here's what we're doing. Tomorrow I'm participating in the Wamego senior interview day. I'm interviewing 4 of the seniors that want to go into education related fields. I'm taking some time to do that. Our next big move on renovation over there will be to put the science labs in place. Because if we can have the real labs in place, she can rock and roll with the high schools around there with the science classes. So that's where we are.
Has there been any more discussion or movement with using part of the old Junction City High School, or
so on Junction City
discussion over there?
On Junction City, the high school is making no commitments where we can put together a business plan. Sarah's talked with Mike. They're not guaranteeing the students. They've got interest in 2 programs?
Try 2 classes.
Try 2 classes. And I've told Teresa Bramlage, I can't submit a business plan to you folks on how the heck can we generate enough revenue to do that over there. They think their career programs are great and they don't need college credit. They have good career programs, but they're missing the boat on not getting those kids college credit and credentials.
Free credit.
And I've been fighting that battle for 5.5 years over there.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, with Wamego, we're going to have 200 to 300 students over there by a year from fall.
Easy.
The Career Academy, 2 years out, we're going to go from 400 students in Manhattan to 800. Easy. We're going to double enrollment in this place in 3 years. But I can't get that commitment out of Junction City.
Wow.
They're doing a lot of great things there that are leading to credentials. It would be so easy to tap in.
To close the loop. That's all we're needing to do.
To tap into that. And there's just no drive. There's no drive for them to complete the logistical process to get them approved that the students would have access. They think everything they're doing is enough, that the student walking out with the credential is enough, except there's this opportunity for free college credit and they don't see it. They don't see the value in it. I can't get the high school to see the value in it at all. And that it's free for the student. I don't know how else to get them to understand that. But until somebody is in the position to say, this is what we're going to do and drive it, there's not anything else I can
And as we
do.
discussed with Wamego, with Career Academy, we're building all of this off the high school as a base.
Mhm.
Then whatever the community kicks in, adult ed kicks in, that's just that much more. But it's got to be built off that one solid base we have as the high schools.
Junction City High School could surpass Manhattan High with what they're doing easily
If they'd work with us.
if they would get on this. And they're doing some things with cloud, which is great, but they're missing these other opportunities and a funding and even funding pieces for them based on our agreements. And I don't until somebody's in there that gets it. Anytime they want something, I send it to them information wise. I'm doing everything I can.
Okay.
It just
We're,
boggles me.
we're open to any conversation they want, but it's frustrating because we can't move their needle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's not anything, our teams are ready to work with them and have been ready for the last 2 years to work with them. But without going to them and forcibly saying, I need you to give me this paperwork, or I need you to give me these things, we need to have these conversations.
The fire
Yes.
chief wants EMT and all the way up to fire science over there.
Mhm.
That's the only commitment we've got.
I'm just hoping after that school opens up, maybe they will start considering, open their eyes maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
have no excuse for them, so
They give those students such one step up.
Well, that's the thing. I talked to Wamego School Board. They came onto our Wamego campus a week ago, Monday night, for part of their board retreat. Our shared goal is those students graduate at Wamego High School with either a bunch of gen ed out of the way from us, or they've got a certificate in tech ed and a credential when they graduate high school. Some of them can get an associate degree. Brian's son's doing that. Same goal with Marvin in the Manhattan School District. When you graduate high school, this is what you're coming out of the college with.
Mhm.
We can't get that over in JC.
And they're and they're right there.
Harry, was there anything you'd like to add? I kind of took the words out of your mouth.
No, you touched on the key things that we've been doing over there. It's exciting. I think the real interesting feedback that we get is nothing but let's get after it, get it done. There's about 25 key stakeholders that we've identified, and we've started with tier 1, which is about 8 of those key stakeholders. We've had individual meetings with them, planning this week, second tier visits with them, and in terms of, zeroing in on some potential donor development opportunities. They're really excited about us being there.
And if the tax credit thing would go through, the pace is going to pick up fast.
Right.
Guarantee you, we're going to be moving real fast.
Okay, anything else? Looks like we have one more executive session to go into.
Madam Vice Chair, I move that we go into executive session at 7:03 to discuss non-elected personnel and discuss confidential business, protect the interest of the business to be discussed, and that we return to open session at 7:18.
Your second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're in session.
Everybody gets to go except Mary and me.
Going. Pass again.
It's all right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
Sure, we're going to talk my evaluation.
Laying.
You're welcome.
Oh, maybe I should have made that for a longer time.
Probably. That's just a good thing started. Mary's got a couple handouts.
More required. Yeah.
I'm coming. Try not to spill it.
Mary's going to hand out a blank copy of the previous evaluation form used for you new folks. Kind of refined this the last 2 to 3 years. And Mary and I talked with LJ a week or so ago on this. We want to give you this so that you've got the next month to look at it and be able to bring back to suggest any changes. If you have any questions, so we can get the ball rolling. I'm the only contractual employee of the college to you. So this process is for you to think about what I've accomplished, but when I say that, it's what this college has accomplished. You already know we've got fantastic people doing great things. At the same time, I need you to be appropriately, critical and looking at things. You have the diagram and the 3D budget. Let me start with that while you head out the other one. So a couple things. One thing that Carmel and I are working on, and we're going to go more in depth when we do the retreat this summer. I'm going to pass this around in a minute so you can see it. It's on a spreadsheet. But I ran across a concept called the 3D budget. And this lays out, looking at our current, this column is current, basically. What's coming like over the next 2 years, what's coming next over the next 2 years, what's coming farther out. And we've linked our objectives of our strategic plan to this. We've identified what those are, as well as also where it matches up with the HLC criterion. Because after 40 years in this business, my last 2 institutions, I was able to get the presidents to work with me. So the strategic plan was not a bunch of puppy dog tails being chased. It comes back to our strategic plan. It comes back to accreditation. So we keep that focus. You'll see on here, and again, this is a work in progress. We're starting to put numbers to a lot of this. This is where we project out people we're going to need to add, the things we're going to do because of Wamego, the Career Academy, Junction City. Carmela will be putting together a separate tab for each of those projects with this. So when we have the retreat this summer, we're going to walk through that information. But I kind of just wanted you to see a visual of this. Then what Mary gave you is what I played with today. And it's not new to many of you. We've talked about it. But unless you run me off too fast, my goal before I either die or retire is to give everything I've got with working with these cool folks, and we create this into Mid-America Technical College. And you'll see 11 different things around that center point.